So, you want to get into day trading, but you're starting from scratch. It can feel, well, impossible. But today, we're going to break down an expert's framework into a simple roadmap. We'll show you the actual path from total beginner to, hopefully, finding some consistency. All right, let's just dive right in with a bit of a reality check. You've probably seen this number floating around. 9 out of 10 new traders lose money. I mean, that's a seriously scary statistic, right? But it begs the question, is that one person who makes it just lucky? The answer is a big no. See, the thing is, failure in trading isn't random. It's not just bad luck. It almost always boils down to two very specific and, this is the key part, completely avoidable mistakes.
And here they are, plain and simple. First, you've got people with no strategy at all. That's not trading, folks. That's just gambling. Then you have the other group. They have a strategy, but they don't have the discipline to stick with it. That's it. Success isn't about finding some magical secret formula. It's really just about avoiding these two fundamental traps that get almost everybody else.
So keeping that in mind, your first step isn't to rush out and open a brokerage account or try to find the next hot stock. Nope, it's actually about understanding the journey you're about to go on. And trust me, it's not a straight line up. It's a winding road with some really predictable and, yeah, kind of emotionally tough phases. This quote right here, this is the exact mindset you gotta have from the very beginning. You need to think of trading as a marathon, not a sprint. It's like learning to play the piano or getting good at a sport. It takes time. It is definitely 100% not a get-rich-quick thing.
Okay, so this timeline basically maps out that whole marathon for you. And pretty much every single trader goes through these phases. You start with a little beginner's luck, then you hit those humbling losses, then you get to this point where you're just kind of treading water, breaking even. The most important thing is just knowing this map exists. It helps you figure out where you are, especially when you hit that first major drawdown. That's when your account takes a big hit after you've been doing well, and it helps you see what's coming next.
All right, now let's build on that idea. We're going to get into the next two really practical steps, getting the right knowledge, and then picking your actual game plan. This stuff is your foundation. Step 1, you got to learn the language of the market. You have to know what you're looking at. But then, and this is so important, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't create a strategy from scratch. Find one that somebody else has already proven works.
And learning the fundamentals, it means really getting a grip on these core ideas. Like take technical analysis. It's not just about looking at some lines and squiggles on a chart. It's about learning to read the story that the chart is telling you, the story of supply and demand. Getting these basics down is the absolute bedrock of any strategy that's going to work.
And that's exactly why just adopting a proven strategy is so powerful. I mean, think about it. Someone else has already gone through all the pain, all the years of trial and error. You get to learn their blueprint, which can cut your learning curve way down and help you dodge a ton of those really expensive rookie mistakes.
Okay, so now you've got a strategy. But hold on, it is not time to start throwing real money at the market. Not yet. This next phase is all about practice. It's about collecting data and building real confidence that's based on evidence, all in a totally safe environment.
This is your training ground, your dojo. You're going to use a trading simulator, which lets you practice without risking a single penny. But here's the secret sauce. The point isn't just to make a bunch of pretend trades. The real goal is to be super disciplined about collecting and analyzing your own performance data. Because this is where true confidence comes from. It doesn't come from a gut feeling, and it definitely doesn't come from a lucky win. It comes from the data, from the numbers, from metrics that actually prove to you that your strategy has an edge as long as you can execute it the right way. And here's a perfect example of why. Just by looking at simple metrics, like how you perform at different times of the day, you can find some game-changing insights. Look at this. The data here screams that this trader makes all their money in the first hour and then just gives it all back in the afternoon. So what's the obvious takeaway? Stop trading after 11:30. I mean, it's really that simple sometimes. All right, let's talk brass tacks. Let's get practical. What kind of tools and physical setup do you really need to trade well? And how can you do it without, spending a fortune? First off, you do not need a dozen different expensive subscriptions. Your core toolkit can be pretty lean. You need a simulator, of course. You need good charting software. You need level 2 data. That's what shows you all the buy and sell orders in real time. Then you need stock scanners to find the action and a news feed so you know why a stock is moving.
And yeah, you can forget about that whole wall of 9 monitors like you see in the movies. A simple, efficient setup like this, it's perfect for a beginner. You can use your laptop for your actual order entry, have one monitor for your main charts, and a second one for your scanners and news. That's all the screen space you really need to get started without getting totally overwhelmed.
Okay, so we've talked about the journey, the education, the strategy, the tools, but you could have all of that perfectly in place and it would be completely useless without this final piece. And this is, by far, the most critical component of all.
Discipline. Yep, we're coming full circle right back to that second big reason why most traders fail. They have the perfect plan on paper, but they just don't have the mental toughness to actually follow it when the pressure's on and real money is on the line.
And the single most important rule you can possibly have is your max loss. This is a number you decide on before you start trading. If you lose that much money, you're done for the day. You just walk away. No exceptions. Think of it like a circuit breaker for your emotions. It's there to protect you from yourself.
You know, progress in trading isn't usually some big aha moment where a light bulb goes off. A lot of the time, the real turning point feels more like this quote right here. It's that slow, subtle improvement that comes from just being disciplined and making fewer mistakes over time. It's really just about sucking a little bit less every single day.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that success in trading isn't some destination you just arrive at. It's a process. It's about building skill, finding a strategy, and more than anything, building discipline. You've got the framework now. The real question is, are you ready to actually train for that marathon?